Hey everyone, who's all here? It is time for office hours, and you get to pick what we do. Gotta make sure all the levels are good. It is your time to pick the office hours. Who all is here? I saw we have like 4 people watching live. Mubot is here. Mubot is awake. Mubot. Mubot's typing. That's Mubot typing in the background right there. Hey, what's up, Alexander? Good to see you here. It's so weird. My screen. I gotta fix it because one of my lights. How can that light? Is it that? It is that light. You can't see it. There's a light all the way over here. And that light glares on my screen. Is it reflecting off of the... I don't even understand. Hey, what's up, Drew, Kirsten? Good to see you, Kayla, Jessica. We got some... I'll have to mention it during class, too. Thank you, Kayla, so much. A really important thing. Let's kind of... I'll be real quick, that homework and quiz. No, I'm so sorry, Alexander. Don't worry, we dropped the 2 lowest. And so good to see you. Oh, Jessica's got a dog in picture. Aw, this makes me want to see dogs, like cute dogs. Took all of my attempts. Did you get 100, Alexander? If you got 100, that's awesome. If you didn't, don't worry. We dropped the 2 lowest, and you don't need to have 100. That's the problem is I want everyone to get hundreds. Alexander, great job, man. That's awesome. But you know what? You have it down. You now know the conditional distribution, the marginal distribution. You know what's interesting? Let's hop over here, and this is kind of a good announcement for 320. And you'll see how she's a golden doodle. Oh, this is so cute. Oh, it's like goldens and doodles. Oh, love it. Love it. Let's hop to the main screen. Yeah, Jessica, which one do you want to go over? We'll do that next here. I feel like my picture's too small. It's fine. Whichever one you want to do next, let me know, and we'll do that one next. So just be like, hey, can you do the question that's like such and such, such and such? Do you want to do that question, Papa Shark? Smile. Can we look at chapter 4 homework? Yeah, let's do that next here. You got it. Chapter 4 homework coming right up. We're going to do a full video on that. I'm going to do a quick kind of thing for 320 right here. And I want to show 201 something really awesome. Are you ready for this, 201? Your mind's about to be just completely blown. So we're going to go here to data. What this is going to do is this is going to load survey 10 data. Survey 10 is just a survey of 201 students from 2010, 11 years ago. I'm old. What does this look like to everyone? 201, 320, what does this just look like to you? Just that thing over there, what does that look like? It looks like you've probably seen something like this before. What does that look like if you've ever seen anything like that? Does it look something like what you've seen? I'm going to constantly readjust the screen because I actually need it to be big to do this. This thing over here probably looks a lot like just an Excel table. Exactly, just an Excel table. That's all I want you to think about. And all we're going to do is we're going to compare somebody's gender to their handedness, which I think are the only 2 categorical variables. And what are we going to get? There's a 201 review right now and a 320 review. What do we get when we compare gender and handedness? What kind of graphic will we get if we compare someone's gender and handedness? This is a good review of last night. Then we're going to write to chapter 4. If we compare gender and handedness, what would we get graphically? This is not the one, but we'll get it in a second here. If we compare gender and handedness, so we're going to go here, and we're going to compare we're going to see if handedness can be explained by gender. We're going to use data, and this is going to be an important thing right here that Kayla was pointing out. Thank you so much, Kayla. We're throwing 50 points because Kayla pointed out something huge, and people are saying, Mosaic, you're 100% right. We're going to give everyone 50 points because Kayla mentioned something really big. I'm in the chat, but you can't see that. Let's see right here. I'm trying to chat as Brian Stevens. Let's see. I got to fix it. No! Stat 201. UTK. Office hours. Pop out chat. Pop out. Sorry, everyone. We're fixing the things as we go right here. Let's give everyone those points that I promised, right? So here we go. Points. But here's the thing, Alexander. Kayla's in 320. And so if you're keeping up with 320, that's awesome right there. So don't worry. Don't worry if someone's faster than you. If you're reading the comments, you know that's going to make a mosaic plot. You're good. It's mad about the graphics right now. Oh, let's fix this. So Kayla, here's the thing. What does seed do? Where's my Minecraft people? We're competing against PewDiePie right now. He's playing Minecraft. If PewDiePie playing Minecraft, I can't even say his name properly. If PewDiePie, I don't know if that's decent or not. When he's playing Minecraft and he enters in a seed, what does the seed in Minecraft do? What does a seed in Minecraft do? We're going to hop to chapter 4 after this, don't worry. But what does a seed do? No idea. That's a good answer. If you have no idea, that's a good answer. And so what does it, Drew, you're right. When you make a new world, you put in a seed. So if you put in a seed and I put in a seed and we both put in the same seed, what happens? So if we both put in the same seed, what happens in Minecraft when we both put in the same seed? If you put in the same seed, you will get the same what for your world, because the worlds are generated randomly. So if you put in the same seed, and this is key here, Kayla, you'll see why. If you put in the same seed, whenever you run your results, you will get the what? Kind of like a template. You'll get the same thing. Does that make sense? Does everyone notice here that this is not changing? But if I remove the seed, every time I do this, the permutations here will be a different sort of what? So Kayla, this is the big thing, and this is what we'll be talking about in class as we go through the associate function and why you need to use this when you're doing your assignments. Now, each time, the permutations are completely and utterly from, like, every time they are. Get ready for it. They're still random with a seed, but the randomness is controlled. Does that make sense? Now they are changing each time. Hey, what's up, Jack? I'm stuck on task 5, aggregate on 320. I was hoping you could go through that part. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to cover that real quick. Let's mention that because we're doing 320 just for a moment here. And then we're going to hop over to 201. So don't worry, 201. We're going to do some chapter 4 homework. So do not worry, 201. We'll do that here in a second. But does this make sense, Kayla, right here? And so, Jack, this is really good for 320 also, that when you do these functions, to control the randomness, to get the same randomness, to make it replicatable, what are you going to put in to make your randomness do the same sort of randomness each time? I think I said put the class number. Or did I say put current year? It truthfully doesn't matter what seed we put in as long as we do the same seed. So we put this in right here. I think year. I think I did say year. So if you look at this, you get the same randomness each time. If you change this right here, like next year, and now you run it, the randomness will change. Notice here the p-value is this, and now the p-value is this, but it's going to stay the same each time. Does this make sense, Kayla, that the seed controls the randomness? So however this procedure is done with the yeah. So that's what seed does. Super important, especially for replication. I just don't usually have to replicate my results, so I don't think to put in seed. My brain's just not trained. I'm trained more in the instructor aspect to be like, oh, we just take a look at the results and we see what's going on, and we look at the p-values. But I don't have to turn in an assignment, so I don't have to be like, here's the replication of my results in case someone else wants to replicate it. I'd probably just tell them to generate, another p-value and take a look at it. Like, well, we could regenerate that p-value. So let's mention, Jack has a great question here. Jack was wondering about where is it? It's called having too many files open. Probably close them all off soon right here. Let's go look at the question. Task 5, we're going to go right here, and we're going to go down to task 5. So, Jack, which part are you stuck on right now for task 5? With task 5 right here, let's see. You said, I'm on task 5, aggregate visual displays and tables on 320 assignment, and was hoping you could do it. Awesome. Create a visual display for a quantitative variable. So we have a few options for this. Hey, Brian, got done with the first 9 videos on the art. Yes! Nice job right there. Awesome job, Jacob. You are way ahead of the game. When we create a display for a quantitative variable, Jack, you've probably done this part. So when you create a display for a quantitative variable, what display would you create for a quantitative data? Quantitative data, what display would you create? There's a few options here. I'll vanish out of the way. What display would you create for quantitative data? We've got a lot of options. Histogram's perfectly fine. Histogram's classic. Boxplots, stem and leaf. If you're in 201, you're seeing how these things connect. Like 320 is still doing the same thing you're doing. They're using code for it now. So they're like, oh, we can just create a histogram here. And the code for a histogram is just what? I'm going to go grab a vector. I'm working with slightly different data, so don't copy what I'm doing because I'm not using my sample. Sometimes I do things a little bit differently during office hours. I'm just going to grab survey 10. So right here we have survey 10. And what do I need to put this inside of to make it a histogram? You got it. That's just it right there. We're just going to put it inside a hist. There's a whole bunch of options you can do right here. You could say main equals, and you could say like histogram of height. So you could do that. And you could say col equals, and we'll go for our favorite color. You might not know this. Oops, that's not a hashtag. This calls hexacolor. This calls hexacolor coloring. That is UT orange. But you could always just say orange and suffice with that orange. Oh, I put my head right there. So this is hexadecimal color coding. I'm not going to go into too many details on it, but you can just name the color right here too. You could just say purple, and it's smart enough to know purple, blue, pink, magenta. Will it know pink? Magenta. Magenta. Nope. It says nope. Oh, I put a magenta. I have to know. Oh, it does have magenta. There you go. Really smart. Knows a bunch of colors. So now we're going to go displaying and table. I got the histogram, but I'm stuck on the next part where you create the my sample with the my sample column and do the aggregate function on the mean. Yes. So with this, I already changed this thing 1,000 times. We're going to time travel. You ready? I'm in. Good. You ready to time travel? We're going back in time right here. Okay. This is everything I was doing yesterday on this file. So we're going all the way back to a fresh file right here. There we go. We're in the fresh file now. We went back in time. Okay. So here it is as it exists to begin with. Does that make sense? Like here's the aggregate as it begins. Someone's like slowing down the video and trying to capture like everything I wrote right there. So here is the aggregate function. What do we need to replace? This is your y variable here. And this is your x variable. I could have just put y and x. Might have made more sense to people, but here's your y variable. Here's your x variable. I'm going to run all the code above with this, and I should get, I might not have gotten a sample because I might not have an ID in here right now. I need to put in like 555. Okay. So put in your ID. Cool. Now when I run this, it will create my sample. So that way I have a sample to actually work with. I don't want to change this and have people get it messed up. Does it make sense, Jack, that now I have my sample and my sample is a data frame like we looked at earlier? Is everyone on? And do not include this in your code. This will make excessive output. Do not include that. Do not include something like that. I just want to make that super clear. That's a good way to do really bad on an assignment, is to include that and knit that into your file. Is everyone with me on that? Please look at what you knit. I just want to show you this error because it's a very common error. If a student were to do this, I want to show you what would happen. This should knit now. Will it knit? It looks like it's knitting. And if you knitted, luckily you'd get this as an HTML. But if you knit into Word, you should get a ridiculously long file. And look at this. If you get something like this, do not turn this in. Is everyone clear? I need to mark this video. So I don't have anything before the aggregate. What do I do about so the Greek column, let's look at that code real quick right here. So this right here is doing what? Like right here, we're calling the Greek vector. Does this make sense what this calls? This calls the Greek vector. So what is this line of code on line 115 doing right here, Jack? What is 115 doing? I promise in about 5-10 minutes we will be doing 201. Do not worry, 201. We'll be doing chapter 4 very soon. What is this doing right here? It's taking this vector and doing what? You are correct about not having to do anything. That is correct. And I kind of explained what it is doing right there. Exactly. We're creating. So if you look at the very end of my sample, when you run this code right here, I might have already ran it. If you go down here to the very end of this, it's creating a new column. Exactly, Jack. That's exactly it. It's taking this vector that exists already in here and then storing it to the end. And you saw for just a moment as it blinked back up. So now it's at the very end. It doesn't have an X number, and we don't really care to reorder our columns right now, but it has now written this column right here. And the reason I did that is because I wanted, when we called this, I didn't want, I'm uncommenting it out now. I wanted it just to be called Greek right here. So we're going to see if Greek can explain something. And we could see, does Greek explain how many countries you visited? So there is a trick. I do this all the time. Be very careful you don't write this twice. You see I've already used it. You will get this message. Do not knit things like this. Be very, like, think about what report you're submitting. I've already attached it, so that's why it's giving me this warning right here. You could delete this after knitting. You can always look at your document and clean it up after knitting. That's a very important thing. Think about what you're turning in and how it looks. The grader is going to be a little bit nice to begin with, but as we go through the semester, if you turn in documents that have a bunch of like just erroneous output, it might not be good. This just attaches it because I don't want to, and I want to make sure everyone knows. What have I done here by attaching it? I've given myself access to all of these vectors. Does that make sense, Jack, what attach does? Hey, what's up, Adam? Good to see you here. Does everyone understand what attach does? Like, could you explain to me why we might attach something to the global environment? Why do we attach something to the global environment? And I'll show you the difference. When it's attached, this happens. I'm gonna have to go here and detach it a few times now. So watch here as we're gonna detach it, make sure it's detached now. It's been attached a few times. Okay, now it's detached. So now if I type x51, this happens. Oh, is it still attached? Oh, I think because I've attached. It's from survey 11. I think survey 11 is attached also. Yep, survey 11 was also attached. So x51. Does this make sense? Now it doesn't autocomplete. Watch now. It does autocomplete. Does this make sense right here? What attach does? Be very careful. Don't write down everything I write down. Let's see right here. If I go and detach it and I write x51, it doesn't autocomplete. But if I attach it and write x51, it autocompletes. Is this? It's just helpful. It's just, does that make sense, Jack? Why we might use attach to, like, it's just a helper thing. It's not required. It's a lot easier. Before I started using attach, I had to go here and be like, x.num countries, and I had to be like, okay, is there a capitalization? Because if you miss a capital letter right here, if you do this, it won't run because I didn't capitalize the C and the V right here because of that. So that's how, you see, I still have a typo, but with autocomplete, I can do this and run it like that. So once I get autocomplete going, I just type the first 3 letters, I hit enter, and it fixes it. So that way, if there was a capital letter, if I make a typo, I don't have to worry about making typos. It's literally just type the first 3 letters, confirm that that's the thing you want, hit enter, and there you go. Do we have to edit out? Outliers from data, or just talk about it in the write-ups? Yeah, talk about the outliers. Definitely, great job right there, Seth. That's what we do in tool 1. That's what we do in 320. We talk about the things. And always look at the grading key. The graders are going purely by the grading key. Yes, that makes sense. So I type my y variable, put in the x. Don't change that. Yep. And you see it runs right here. Don't worry about, I made some other changes to it. You don't have to worry about making those other changes. I did exactly what you did, but the code doesn't produce output. Can you copy your code right into here, Kayla? Oh, are you talking about when you knit? If you knit to HTML, interestingly enough, it doesn't make output. Look at the Discord here. Let me take a look. Thank you so much, Kayla. You might have, let's see right here. Awesome. Let me take a look. Let's see. Is it the bar chart one? Okay, wait. Let me see. Okay. Bar chart, table, morning person, main, horizontal, object, morning person not found. Because, yeah. So attach for the first one, Kayla, right there, do the following code. Your fix to the first one is going to be attach my sample. And only run this after the start. And is morning person... Oh, nice. You created... You know what you could do, Kayla? Hey, let me change this. I'm going to give you a different code. Which you could do. So the variable is morning person, right? It's x30 morning person. So let's go morning person x my sample and x30 morning person. I'm going to put that in the Discord. That's one solve right there. And so there's one right there. Does that make sense, Kayla? And then I'm going to take Kent. Thank you so much for being here. So many great questions right now. Does this make sense, what I put there, Kayla? So now you could also attach it. That works too. But since you're doing similar to what I did, but now you're just storing a vector to the global environment from the data frame. So the code I have right here that I've highlighted, that I've also put in the chat, takes a vector from the data frame, puts it to the global environment. And we're also removing the x30 on it because we don't need that. So you could rename it whatever you want. And now that vector is stored purely in the global environment. Let's take another question here. So that should fix up the bar chart one. The other one down here, that's the bar chart one. That should fix that. And then the aggregate. Okay, let me look at the aggregate issue. You are correct. Set the seed. I'll reply to more of these. Runs with no errors warnings, but does not produce any output. Chunk 14 produces no output. I try to assign new variables as I did with Greek, but my code will not run. Can you send me the error you get? Oh, I think I see the issue. Yes, I see the issue, Kayla. Let me show you. Right here, you have a dollar sign. So on this one, you currently have a dollar sign before it. Picture two. This is what we're talking about right now. So with this one right here, these are vectors inside the data frame. So we don't want to put the dollar sign before this. Does that make sense, Kayla? Right here, don't remove the data frame dollar sign variable and only do the variable name here and the variable name here. Does that make sense, Kayla? So only put the variable name here and the variable name here, and then let it pull it from my sample right here. And that should fix it if you remove the, like I feel like, here, wait, I'm gonna quickly upload something to Discord. I'm gonna take a screenshot of it, re-upload it. So 2 seconds, I'm gonna like explain. Thank you so much, Kayla. Probably a lot of people are gonna hit issues with this. This should fix it. So what I'm suggesting is, where's my pen? Is I'm suggesting that should fix it. That should fix it. That should fix it. Tell me if it doesn't. That should fix it. Awesome. Let's see here. And then Kent said, I had a quick question about your community. Yeah. I'm getting this error when I try to knit. Error in sample length replace vector size cannot be. You might be, Kent, I want you to look at this right now. I want you to go to the very top. You might be using the old file. Tell me if, and maybe you're in Terry's class, and I hope he's updated it. I think I sent out the update to them, 99% certain. Does yours say 400 or 600 right here? Nope, it didn't work. Can you copy paste your code into the Discord, Kayla? Copy paste your full code right now currently into the Discord. And then it says 400. Send me your RMD, Kent, via, send me your RMD, and I'll take a look at what it is. I might do it off screen for a moment. That way I don't like show IDs and stuff, and I'll see what it is. Let me look at, Kayla might have pasted her code in the Discord. So paste the code, and we'll do that real quick right here. And I'll take a look at that, and I'll copy it over. Okay, here it is right here. Okay, let me grab this, and let's take a look. Thank you so much. We'll be doing some 201 here soon, everybody. Okay, there's that. There's this. Okay, let's fix up the code. Okay, we're gonna go here. This just makes the code easier to read right here. You don't have to do all this spacing. You notice it is spaced a little bit differently right now, but this just makes it a little bit easier to read and understand what's going on. You can kind of see where we go into different parts of the code. The first argument is the y variable and the x variable we're using. The second argument is our data frame that they come from. And the third argument is going to be all the functions we are going to perform on it. I did kind of have to cheat and look this up right here. So that's why I didn't expect everyone to do it. It just took me a little while to make this. Let's see if this currently runs. And the answer is it does run. What error are you? Can you paste? Everyone knows Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is better, but you can't have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood without Full Metal Alchemist. You're not getting the table? Can you? We might have to hop on a Discord later, Kayla. We might have to hop on later, and I might have to take a look. When you, right now, this could be going on right here. Possibly, is it possible that you're seeing this, Kayla? Is this possibly happening right here? Do you see a plus icon? If you say yes, I'm going to be so happy, and that'll explain what's going on. Possibly, do you see a plus icon over here on the far left side? If you do see that, I'll be very happy, and that will explain. Can you paste a screenshot of like here's what I would paste. Paste this screenshot into the Discord right now. And then let's see, I'll look at Jack's question right here. Paste a screenshot. Like when I run the code, if I were to paste into Discord, I'd make it smaller though. If I were to paste into Discord what's happening for me right now, I would run this, and then I would show, you know, like this right here. Like this is what it should look like. So you send me the file over email? Cool, let me pull up the email file here. And here, I'm gonna look at Kayla's real quick. So it should work. Let's So I just pasted it into Discord what it should look like. So paste the other one. I'm going to look at Kent. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to look at this one first. Let me go grab Kent's real quick, and I'll hop into space right here while I grab Kent's file. Thank you so much, everybody. This is office hours. This is what we do. We solve problems. Okay, Kent, office hours, email. Okay, I'm pulling up your file here, Kent. I'm going to change the ID. Oh, I see it. I see it. You don't currently have... I see it, Kent. Let me close it out. Okay. I see the problem, Kent. Let me hop back right here. And so the issue, Kent, right now is... Hop back to here. So right now, for student ID, and don't put in 555, obviously. I'm just putting that in as a placeholder. Right now, there is no student ID. Am I correct on that, Kent? Right now, there is no student ID right here. Does that make sense? There are some plus, plus, plus. If you see the plus, 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 then hit escape. You're currently running code inside of code. If you see the plus, plus, plus right here, then you're stuck inside of some other code. So hit escape, escape. And that means you just had an open code thing that wasn't closed off. Just sent in Discord. Awesome. Was I right? Was it all plus, plus, plus? No, that's... Oh, you know what I think it might be? I think I know what it is, Kayla. I think the way your R is set up, I think it's producing it below the chunk. I want you to try doing this. I want you to tell me, go over here to your associate function. It'll be like this to start, and then I convert it. So you should be fine to just keep it inside of here and just change the number. Because I convert it right here. I do all the conversion for you. Like I wrote this code here that will take your random sample. So I didn't expect you, like maybe in 474, I'd expect you to like take a random sample, putting in your student ID, but I didn't want anyone to like make a mistake with it. Not the table. Try knitting it, Kayla. Knit to a Word document and tell me if it shows up then. I got my fingers crossed on this one. Knit it to a Word document and tell me if it shows up then. We're not getting an error with the code, so I think it'll show up. I think it will. And if not, send me via a personal message the .rmd and I'll pull it up here. If it doesn't work, send me via personal message and I'll pull it up here. Let's see, let's go grab Jack's question right here. Okay, I run this, nothing shows up, but below it in the script. So you have this right here and the aggregate. I think it should be, you know what we could do? Because I think that's happening to a bunch of people. And I think I have a fix. You ready? So the fix for it is the following. Let's do the following fix. Because Jack's saying the same problem, and there's two fixes. So we do the easy fix or the harder fix. Send me your second, or paste the second error right here. And this is why we start early. We got this. Okay, let's do the easy fix. The easy fix is going to be to go to this table right here that we have, and I want you to do the following. I want you to put a parentheses around it here at the start, and I want you to put a parentheses around here at the end of it. And I want you to go right here and I want you to go to print. So now that should print it out after you run it. So I want you to just put a print around the table. Did that work right there, Kayla and Jack, if you just put a print around it? I think the way I have my settings is a little bit different, the way it produces the output. When you knit, it should show up in Word, but also putting the print should let you see it here, which it's better to kind of see that it works. I think this is the quickest fix we can do for this, that if we just throw a print around the front of it and a print around the back of it. So just to show how I did that, all I'm doing is going around it, putting a parentheses before it, putting a parentheses after it, and then just putting it inside of a print. Did that work? And now when you run it, it should print it out. Did that work? Let me see. Can send me your second error. If you can send me your second file, Kent, if you can resend it to me and show me where your error is there. And did that work, Kayla and Jack, right there, to throw it inside of a print? I'll probably send out an announcement about that. Or I'll try to mention it today in class. Still no table? Can you send me your current file? Same as Jack. When you knit it, send me your current file. It's so much easier when I can see things in person and I can just like, there, let's do that. Send me your current file via a Discord message. Wait, here, wait, Kent. Kent. Wait, I'm gonna remove this, Kent. Wait. I'm just gonna remove it. Kent, send me it via like once other people. We don't want to like put files out there for other people, but send it via email, Kent. Just email it to me. That's the best way. So that way we don't put like we don't want people grabbing other people's files. Does that make sense? I appreciate it. Wrong button. I don't know all my buttons. Okay, let's take a look. Let me go grab that file right here. Okay. So Jack, let's take a look. Thank you, Jack, right here. Okay. I'm going to remove out... I'm just changing your name and your ID number 55555. Okay, there we go. And okay. So I'm going to try knitting your file just to see what we get. And, oh, okay. Jack, a big thing right here. I'm going to point this out. When you knit, good. So when you're knitting, make sure to have removed this right here. What's up, Alexander? What's up, Garrett? Make sure these right here, if you've already installed these, you can delete them. So I just tried to knit and it wouldn't let me knit. Does that make sense, Jack? Make sure these are deleted. So just delete those off. If you've already installed them, you don't need them anymore. You could comment them out. What's up, Garrett? And then let's go here. Let's try to knit. I'm just going to put up the screens over for a moment. So make sure those are deleted. Make sure those are deleted. I'm going to try to knit to Word. We're going to cross our fingers that it knits. It does knit. I'm going to scroll through here a little bit. And the news is that we do have it. Okay. So it is here. So it is not appearing when you do it, but you are getting this information right here. So go ahead and try to knit it, Kayla and Jack, and I believe you will be getting it. I believe you will be getting it. Does that make sense? I believe you will be getting it. So I believe you should have it. So you should have it. It should exist. So let's see right here. I'm going to pull up the second one. Class is not over, but... And we have a second knitting issue. Your name... Knit to Word. Oh, yeah. So the second issue was... Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, so originally... Okay, here we go. Let's go back. And I think we've covered all the questions now. So this is to Kent. This right here will not knit right now. So when you try to originally knit, it's failing on this line because... So this is what you're seeing right now, Kent, right here when you try to knit. You can comment this out or like you still need this, but I'm hitting Control-Shift-C. This won't knit originally, so you need to comment this out or fill it in with some variables from your sample to just do it. But this won't knit until you get it completed. How are we looking, Jack and Kayla? When you knit it, does it exist? I could see it when I knitted to Word. It looks like a mess, though. You can edit it. You can edit it. So you can also change names of variables. No, Jack. I mean, Ken, sorry. This is the thing. This is why I told everyone to start early. There's so many issues that can arise. There's endless issues. It's coding. Welcome to coding. Do not start this Sunday night. I am so afraid for everyone who says, I'm going to start this Sunday night. And then they're going to run... Kent, sorry, I keep saying people the wrong names. Kent, you're doing exactly what you should be doing. I'm going to do what you showed in Last Office Hours and see if that helps. Yeah, that's what I showed Last Office Hours. I wish I could bring that back up. Check out Last Office Hours where I edited the table up with some names. Here, we'll do that super quick here, and then we're hopping right to 201. The way to edit the table with names, I'll do it right here. We're just going to pull in Greek life right here. So I'm going to show how to edit the table. Then we're doing 201. 201, don't worry, I promise. I know. I've been saying I'm going to do it. We got this. Let's attach my sample. And they're attached. They're already attached twice. We're going to go here to number of countries visited. Or let's go to speeding tickets. We'll just call it tickets. So we're going to analyze the speeding tickets of, and it's mad. Why is it mad? Something about my parentheses is off. Oh, that's why. We're going to analyze the speeding tickets versus people's Greek life versus not Greek life. So now what we're going to do, and this is the advanced thing that you don't have to do, is we're going to save this into a table, and then we're going to go to this table, And we're going to take the names, right? Let's go here to names. And I think I called it, I'm trying to remember how I fixed it last time, right? Oh, I know what I did. We're going to go to names, concatenate, and we're going to call this Greek. We're going to call the second one blank. And then we're going to go to names of table. And we're going to store into names of tables names. And I called it table. And then we're going to table. And there you go. That's the fix. You're welcome so much. And this is a better way. You could also call this tickets. And there you go. When we look at the table now, we get ticket mean, ticket median. And we should, I thought we would be able to do this. It's mad because the table has non-numeric in it. This was the thing that bummed me out yesterday. And I was like, okay, we did enough work on it. Oh, so I'm going to call something table. There we go. Maybe we'll go to 3. Cool. There we go. It's a quick way to fix it. You can set the default for how many decimals you get. So I'm just going right here and changing it so that way I get a certain amount that I want. So Kayla, another little thing today. There's so many things to know, but I don't expect you to know all these things, how to change your digits, like with the options inside of here. But there's the option to change your digits. And that was kind of bugging me yesterday that had all those digits. And today I'm just like, I'll just set the global option right here to change it. Does this make sense, Kayla and everyone else, what we've done? Tool 1, do not worry, at 1:40, we're going to start it. And I mean that. I know I've been saying 5-10 minutes, but at 1:40, we're starting Chapter 4. Alexander, are you ready for some Chapter 4? We did Chapter 4 yesterday also, but we're going to do Chapter 4 homework today. And so who's ready for some Chapter 4? And 320, how are you feeling about this now? Is everyone feeling a good bit better? We got a nice looking table right here. We've got the IQR, the median, the mean. Let's go. Let's do it. You guys got this. Puppet Shark, are you ready for some Chapter 4? I've been saying we're going to be doing it all class. Thank you, Puppet Shark. Is that person going to see that I'm using their Puppet Shark? It's their Puppet Shark. Can they, they don't own Puppet Shark. Puppet Shark is for the people. Puppet Shark, it makes me smile. I didn't even get to see that. I just got to hear it. I'm over on looking at stuff. Let's go over here and let's take a look at some Chapter 4. Boom, time for Chapter 4. Boom goes the dynamite. Some old YouTube references. Okay, and great work, 320. It's office, and thank you so much. It's everyone's office hours. I agree. I always try to try to be as democratic as possible and try to evenly split it up. Leslie, for the positivity, we're throwing out another big 50 points because it's Wacky Wednesdays. And Leslie, thank you for that positivity right there. And during class, remember to ask me to be a mod. So anytime during a class session, be like, hey, Brian, mod me. Because I only mod people during class. So Jacob yesterday got modded during class, joined in and was like, hey. And I was like, yeah, Jacob, you're modded. So thank you so much for all the positivity right there, Leslie. Always need that positivity. So crowd management, I did this yesterday. People die of crowd crush. This is such a happy question. You're welcome, Jack, and thank you for great questions. Starting early, that's what we want. So, and thank you, everyone else, Kent, Jack, Kayla, 320 crew. 320 is going to see that in the video and be like, man, we got this. We can do this. So here we are with the statistics on people who have unfortunately died. I have no idea why, but I did Chapter 3 homework and quiz, but I only have graded for Chapter 4. So email me about that, Emily. I'll take a look. I'll double check. Sometimes my Pearson Canvas takes a while to communicate. Email me and we'll do it. Okay, as I've started on these, they're hard to read a bit. Well, so with this right here, what do we have? We have a what over here on the far side, and we have a what right here. So what are our graphics? So let's understand the data first right here. We have what two displays of data? What are our two displays of data right here? So we have univariate quantitative data. We're just looking at one quantitative variable of the age of people who died at a concert. This is such a bright topic for us to talk about. My hair is getting so long. Put it all in front of my face. Histogram and Boxplot, you're totally right, Alexander. These are univariate quantitative displays of data. So with these univariate quantitative displays of data that we see there in the top left corner, we can understand with the box plot where the min, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the maximum is. This is an outlier up here. The histogram is going to show us a better idea of the shape, and we can kind of see the modality of it and the right skew. So when we look at this, I think the most victims were between 24 to 30. If you look right here, yeah, it's no, it's about 16 or something, 16 to 24. And so that looks to be right here. There's very slight skew to the right with a 36 and 48 outlier, and then the ages are 16 to 24. So you look right here, 16 to 24, that is where the mode is, and that looks to be the answer. Which of the features can be seen in the histogram that can't be seen in the box plot? So histograms are going to show shape better. So we would say here the slight increase, it may be a second mode. Modality is shape. So this feature right here, you would never be able to see this slight second mode. You can just tell that this is the middle 50%. Histograms show shape way better than box plots. So that's an advantage. Box plots are more compact and show the 5-number summary. What summary statistic would you choose and why? So this is the measure of center. What are the only 2 measures of center? And if you know this and you know this instantaneously, you're on track. What are the only 2 measures of center? And the question gives away the only 2 measures of center. Okay, there's more measures of center, statistician person, there's mean rank. Okay, I know that. What are the ones we use? Mean and median. There is mean rank, some statistician out there, and there's probably another one I'm not even thinking of. But we use mean and median. They're the most common. And the median is for skewed data, and our data is skewed with outliers. So we're going to go here to the median because it's skewed. So there's only 2 possible answers. This would be the answer if it was symmetric, but unfortunately, or not unfortunately, it's skewed, so we're going to go with this answer. So since it's skewed, that is the wrong answer up there. Since it's skewed, we're going to go with this. Now, because we're using the median, the answer is instantaneously for this what? Since we're using the median, the answer for the next one has to be this. We've narrowed it down to 2 choices by knowing median's correct. Next answer has to be this. Like it has to be, and then we'll give the reasoning for it. So because we use median, boom, Alexander, we're throwing another, I've already given 50 points twice, but Alexander, thank you for practicing here. When you get to these test questions, you will know that this is right here because it's skewed. We're going to use the IQR. Great job, Alexander, right there, and everyone. So, because I want people to follow and practice. So with this, we're looking at side-by-side box plots. Kayla, oh man, people are just doing so great. So already have your 2 points for the semester. We're not even a month in. I should have made the points hard to get. It's my fault. But there are levels that go beyond. There are well beyond levels of what you're currently at. So keep getting those points because you're kind of getting even closer to the next level. So, and there are points for the next levels. It gets smaller and smaller as it goes through. So should we show them? No, we'll not show them. They're pretty funny point levels. So we had some fun making them after the Kahoot. Points everywhere. If everyone gets the bonus this semester, I'll be happy. And then I made point levels for people to achieve who get even higher. So what is the range of these sugar contents right here? Going from the minimum of this group to the maximum of this group, pretty easy. We're just going to take the max minus the min, and that's the range. So when you look at this, the shape of the distribution has clear what to it. Now, I'm not going to look at the answers. The way to practice is to look at the shape of that histogram, which is best, the shape which is best seen in the histogram, not box plots. Box plots don't show shape. Look at the histogram and know instantaneously that is what. Like, don't look at the answers. Practice by saying, what shape is that? That looks to be definitely what? It's definitely a certain thing. It's definitely, so I know the answer right now before I click on it. The shape of it, boom, right there, Drew. Thank you so much, Drew. Bimodal, you got it. This is the practice we need because if you look at the answers, you'll kind of be like, is it, oh, it's that. But if you can recall the answer, that means you've memorized it. So always try to practice and be like, can I know the answer before looking at what the answers are? And then you really know the material. Don't worry if you have to look at the answers. It's all right. What aspect of the breakfast cereals might account for the shape? It's because we got children and adult cereals. So some of these, it's basically we got 2 groups. They either tend to be very low sugar or very high sugar. Are all children's cereals higher than adults? Here's the lowest for children. Let's show it very clearly. Here's the lowest for children. Here's the highest for adults. The answer is most definitely yes. Good to have you here, Maya. Thank you so much for the answer. All children's cereals are higher. Look at us, we're getting hundreds today. And last but not least, which group of cereals varies more? So while the ranges look to be similar, what is another measure for spread? You only have to type 3 letters here. We have range, which is a measure of spread, which range can be manipulated by outliers. IQR, nice job, Drew and Maya, right there. So which of these has a bigger IQR, adults or children? Nice job, Sarvi. Please tell me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Sarvi. We have adults and we have children's. Adults, exactly. Adults has more variation in it. So although the range appears to be comparable for both graphics, the IQR is larger for adults. Yes, we've done it. What do we have here? How many variables? Let me ask this first. So just type the numbers. How many variables are being displayed right now? How many variables are being displayed right now? So we have region, and then we have population, which that's the answer to how many variables are being displayed. So we have region, and then we have population. So you'd have to ask how many questions to display these variables. So if you're going and collecting data for countries, you would have to go around, you'd have to say what something is it in, and then what was the population. So what region was it in? So how many questions are we asking? This is a what display of data. This is a what display of data. Bivariate, nice job, Drew, right there. It is a bivariate display of data. And I think we'll get, this one I got wrong yesterday. I got a tiny part of it wrong. And please, sometimes you'll hear me say during office hours, and please tell me if you get something wrong that like I think is like a little bit not fair, or if there's a rounding issue. I'm pretty nice about giving points back. If you're off by like 1 or 2, if it's like plus or minus 1 on the question, you're like, Brian, I was off by 1. I'll be like, it's a little more than like a little tiny rounding error. But I'm pretty nice about giving points back. I usually, if it's clear, you know, like, yeah, just don't be like, hey, Brian, can I get points back? I didn't understand this question. No, don't do that. So this one can be pretty tricky, but there's ways to eliminate this down. I'm going to vanish here for a second. So here we're going to go to Tiny Brian. He's not going to use his voice, though. Sometimes he's hard to understand. So with this data right here, I want you to see that the highest number in region 1 is what? The highest number in region 1 is what? The highest number in region 1 is going to be what? What percent? Because 6-2 means this. And you can go the other way. You can go 1-2. So what's this 2 represent right here? It means 12%. Nice job, Alexander. Let's look at this graphic right here. That looks to be about 12%, so we can't eliminate this one. How about this graphic right here? Does that look to be 12%? Yes or no? You can type Y or N in the chat. Does that look to be about 12% right here for the maximum in region 1? And region 2 is 62, so that doesn't look to be a nice job right there. So that one, this one's eliminated. We've just eliminated this graphic. Let's look at this one. That could be 62, but this one's going to be eliminated soon, I think. Let's look at this graphic. That's not 12%. Okay, so we're down to 2 graphics now. Because what we did was we looked at the maximum for region 1, and that's way more than 12%. So that's eliminated. So we got this one eliminated. Oh, wait. It was the top one, right? Okay, good. We're down to just A and D. It's only A and D via the eliminations we have. And I'm pretty certain, so there needs to be a gap in the data right here. So we've got like 62, and then there needs to be a gap to 42. Ooh. Oh, look, wait, look. 62 to 42, is there a big gap in the data right here? There's a big gap in the data right here. We could check other things. I think this is going to be it. I want to double check before I sure it is. Let me look at this one again. It is A, that is, because this looks to be too, it's so close. That looks to be too long of a whisker. This whisker, just from my, it is A. Don't steer me wrong here, Alexander. Alexander, nice job. Let's throw some 10 points in chat right here. We're just giving away all the points today. I like people helping out. Getting all the questions right is what we do. So it is a just process of elimination. And this whisker did appear to be too long. There's probably other features we could look at. I think it's just that whisker is way too long. So now describe the shape of the distributions. So the shape of the distributions are going to be region 1 is more tightly clustered. Region 1 is very unimodal. Don't mess it up. I said uniform yesterday. Region 2 is bimodal. It has 2 modes. And around all modes, the distributions are slightly symmetric. and there are outliers. Region 2 has outliers. That should do it. We've done it. I made the mistake yesterday when I said that it was slightly skewed to the right. This is a subjective call almost. Please tell me if you got this fairly symmetric part right there, because I said yesterday it was slightly skewed to the right, and I got it wrong. No, don't do that. Don't be like Brian. Get the questions right. Today we're getting 100. So we got 90% on this so far. We're doing great. So this one right here is best done via jump. This question is best done via jump. We're going to click right here, copy to clipboard, and then we're going to hit Control or Command C to copy the data over. So Control or Command C. Now we're going to go over to jump, and we're going to go, I'll show you where it looks a little bit nicer. Let's do that. We're going to go into a jump data sheet, kind of like this one. And we're going to go to File, New, Data Table. File, New, Data Table. It's going to open a new data table. Do not click inside of it. Go to Edit, and for this one, we are going to paste with column names. Sometimes you have to paste with column names. Sometimes you don't. Here's where you do, and here's where you mistakenly make an error, and you should not paste, or you should have pasted with column names. Please note that all of this data right here should be what? All of this data, you can type one letter, Q or C. All of this data should be what? So when you paste with column names, if the column names exist, it'll put them at the top column. If you don't paste with column names, it'll put whatever it is at the top. And look at how this looks over here versus when I did not paste with column names, it looks over here. This is the wrong way. This is like wrong way, close out, start over, just redo it. So what do we see? Good to have you here, Kyle. What do we see? Oh, Kyle, are you from last semester? I reset the points, Kyle. I'm so sorry. I recognize the name because you're a mod, and then I reset the points. I'm using a different like MuBot. We have a new system with points and everything. Alexander's just showing those points right there. Great job, everybody. Look at this. Jessica, you're well on your way. By the end of the semester, you'll have all those points. So you see people already, and you can look at how many hours people have been watching to get, like, by the end of, I know, flexible points. Love it. So once we have this pasted in properly, we're going to stack, and then we're going to stack this and stack this. So here we are, and this is just going to make our lives a little bit easier. And we get to see a jump display of data. Now that we've stacked the data, here's all of our data, and we're going to go to, I'm going to go to Graph, and then Graph Builder, just like visualization number 3. We're going to put the data right here. We're going to put the label on the bottom, and then we're going to put the label into color, and then we're going to hit Boxplot right here. So this is the visualization of what we want to see, and we're going to hit done, even though we're not submitting this. But now we can see the 2 baseball regions. There are no outliers, region 2 or B, whatever they want to call it. You think Shark likes your points? So we have the median, and oh look, there we go. You can actually hover over stuff, and then you can pin it. It's quite the big thing to pin here, but so lots of cool things you can do in Jump. We could have done the 5-number summary. I don't think we need it for this question. I don't think we need it. I think we're just visualizing. So let's see here. Does it look like that? Nope, that one has outliers. Does it look like that? Oh, that one has outliers. Does it look like this one over here? Yeah, I think it does. It does look like option C. So that confirms it is option C. That was awesome. Write a few sentences. The distribution of games for region, distribution of runs scored per game is higher, or they're saying that is slightly skewed to the right. The reason they're going to say this is slightly skewed to the right is because this is pulled up a little bit more. So, you're right, Alexander. And so this is a little skewed to the right there because this whisker's pulled up. This one's a little bit more symmetric. So, and region B is a little bit more symmetric. The typical runs scored in League A is slightly higher than B, while the variation in runs in League A is what? A little bit greater. Why is the variation in runs for League A a little bit greater? Why is the variation in runs for League A a little bit greater than the variation in runs for League B? Why does A have a little bit more variation than B? It looks similar on the range. The ranges are pretty similar, but why does A have a little bit more variation than B? They definitely have a higher median. The IQR, nice job right there, Maya. The IQR, so it's a little bit greater for A. Did we get 100? Not today, my Pearson. One more question. Final question, we just guess. The 2 teams play in the World Championship, League A, Team 1, and League B, Team 1. What? Both were at the top of their respective leagues. Did either team score an unusual? No. There's no outliers. I would have guessed wrong. So, oh, no, we have one more. We didn't do this one yesterday. Awesome. New question. New question. Can't do Toad. Oh, sorry, buddy. That hurt. Clip that. I moved my chair forward and just rammed my hand into the desk. Not good. Okay, I'm doing fine. It didn't hurt that bad, just for a second. In what month? Can't get. We got a question right, and I got so excited. I was just like, we're acing this. So, oof, yeah, totally. I think it's fine. I literally just like went forward and like, yeah, I had my hand on the chair and just watch me do it again right now. Like, here's what I did. Let me do it again. What's up, Wyndham? So good to see you here. Hope you're doing all right, man. In what month was the highest ozone level ever recorded? Ooh. Let's just zoom in here. Enhance. Man, that's kind of mean. I hope. I think I see the answer. What do you think the answer is? I think I see the answer. I think like I'm about to like take this and screenshot it because I'm 99% certain I know what the answer is here. It's just like you always want to make sure. I think it's 4 before I cheat. Yeah, oh, that's so mean. It looks like 4, doesn't it? I'm pretty certain it's 4, but that's pretty tricky. You better not say we're wrong here. Yeah. Which month has the largest IQR? Whew, talk about eyesight test. Okay, I think this one's easier. Which month? It's really close, isn't it? It is. Thank you so much. Sarvai right there. Which month has the largest IQR? Yes, it is. It is February this month. That is correct. IQR is going to be that. That one's a little bit easier, much easier to see. Which month has the smallest range? Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't think that's too bad. I just have to think. It's 8, which is August, right? Does that look right? Please tell me if I'm discounting a month. It's going to be August. I wish they just put the numbers here. That'd make life way easier. Not that I don't know what the 8th month is. Just have to like go through my head. Like September's 9th. And very brief comparison of the ozone levels January and June. Okay, January's here. And June is this. Wait, January, February, March, April, May, June. Correct. Okay, June has outliers. June has a similar median, has less variation. Okay. The median ozone level in June was slightly higher. That is accurate. Than the median of January, but the IQR is significantly smaller. That looks to be correct. The median is slightly higher, and no, okay, that's yeah, cool. Oh my gosh, it seems accurate too. What report on the annual patterns you see in the ozone level? Okay, there's definitely some sort of time ordered pattern here to this. Sinusoidal means S shape. So just so you can see, I've never said the word sinusoidal in our class. I do say it in 320. Sinusoidal means S shape. So sorry that this question mentions that, but it kind of explains reaching a maximum in the spring and a minimum in the fall. And I think you could deduce it from here from the second sentence. Like sinusoidal just means S shape. Sigmoidal, sinusoidal. Can't say those words. The ozone levels, yeah, it's sinusoidal. So sorry for a tricky one right there at the end, but I think that clarifies it because then they're explaining like what the sinusoidal pattern means. And I don't think that one's that. Probably I think that's one of the easier ones because you can just see, yeah, it has this like time order pattern to it. Are there any other questions on chapter 4? We've still got 30 minutes here. Any other chapter 4 questions that we didn't cover? Yes. So yes. So let's look right here, Wyndham. Good question. I really did ram my finger a little bit. So what kind of graphic do we have right here? What kind of graphic are we looking at right here? What kind of graphic is this? So choose from here. What kind of graphic are we looking at? What kind of graphic are we looking at? So remember, we are looking at this graphic here. And what kind of graphic is this? It is going to be is going to be side-by-side box plots. So since it's side-by-side box plots, oh, are we lagging again today? That's the first lag burst I think we've had, right, Alexander? We can deal with one. We can deal with one. Maybe you thought I lagged because I was like not talking. That could also explain why people thought I lagged. Or we've been going for an hour and we might have only had one lag. Okay. We did lag briefly at the beginning, but it's been, Kayla, has it been like all right? On Monday, we had like major lag issues. Tuesday seemed all right, but everything's been generally like, yeah, pretty good today. Like, no real worries. It's the internet, and the internet sometimes has a little bloop in it. Because I called. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Monday, I was literally having a heart attack. I was like, not literally. I shouldn't say literally when it's not literally. We're doing side-by-side box plots right here, which means the x variable is going to be categorical. And so I'm pointing this way to point to the x variable is categorical, and the y variable is quantitative. So when we look at this graphic right here, we should see that the x variable right here is categorical because like what month is it? That's a category. Even though these are numbers, it's just like month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5. This is like what month is it? And then the y variable over there on the y-axis over there, which I know I had the y going this way, but the y variable's on the y-axis. The y variable right here is going to be how much ozone layer is there. I guess that's like ozone layers in ppbs. I don't even know what ppbs are, but that's just like how much ozone layer was measured or how much ozone is measured. I think I should know what ozone is. I know a good bit about like a few topics, but I don't know nearly enough about this one. I did hurt my finger. So when you look at this Wyndham, what questions do you have about it? So what we have, it's very important to understand what's going on here with each month. So Alexander, what do we see for each month in this graphic? I'm going to vanish again. Let me put myself back over to the corner. Might be easier. What do these box plots show us for each month? Like every month right here. Every month has a what shown for it. I'll start writing it down as people are thinking it over. Really? I think it's particles per billion or particle. Yeah. Every month shows the Q1, the median, and then nice start right there. And the min, exactly. So this is showing the 5-number summary. That's what box plots are really known for. Great job, Alexander. Can you explain how to read this graphic again, or can I watch it? Yeah, is this making sense, Wyndham, right here? How to understand what's being shown to you right here? Tell me if you're confused on any of this as we talk through it right now. Right here, you're seeing the IQRs. Like you can see the IQRs. I'm highlighting all the IQRs in the greens right here. So you can look at every single IQR right here in green. So these are the IQRs for all of them. I do not like how R is knitting the aggregate function. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kayla. Let me see how it's knitting it for people. And I might send an update. I might literally send an update because don't worry, Kayla, and thank you so much for working on this early and maybe experiencing some of the issues. With your email, I might even send an update and be like, hey, here's a way to like knit it and make it look nice. Might say like, use this code right here. Like I might just code it. I don't want people to feel like they have to spend 30 minutes trying to code something to make something look nice. Like, No. Kayla, thank you for being our pioneer. Thank you for being our pioneer. Sorry. Really, yeah, the aggregate function, I almost wish I didn't put it in there just because it seems like it's causing a lot more trouble than it's worth. I just kind of wanted to, maybe I should have used apply. Hey, what's up, Maggie? So good to see you here. Is this making sense, Wyndham, with what's going on with this? Is this graphic now making a little more sense? What are you wondering about Wyndham with the side-by-side box plots and how to interpret it? I've written the 5-number summary for all of these, well, for some of them, and I've shown the IQR. You can also see the range for the data. We'll do that in gold pen. So the range for the data is going to be the min to the max. Make sure, oh, went way too long there. So the range for the data, make sure to include the outliers. Make sure to include the outliers when doing the range. So you can kind of get an understanding of where the greatest ranges are. It looks like month 3 has the greatest range, as we pointed out, because here's its range. The greatest IQR is month 2, and you can see the 5-number summaries. So let's write up here range. And we had green, and green is the IQR. And all of them show 5-number summary. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Oh, am I doing that? My pen has buttons on it. No. Customize the ribbons. You can see it up there when I click the pen. I was like clicking the button to see if it does anything while I click it. Well, it is doing things though. Let me be careful. E. What questions are there right now? Totally open to all questions. We've done all of the chapter 4 for 201. We're trying to make sense of what these box plots show right here so we can better understand what's being visualized. Good way to remember it is like range likes M&Ms, but IQR likes the center. I like that right there, Alexander. So range likes M&Ms and IQR likes the center. Exactly. IQR is literally, I think it was so confusing to me when I first heard about IQR versus like what is the IQR? And I was like, wait, how do I don't understand what this IQR thing is. And whenever you think about the IQR, all you need to think about is the range of the middle 50%. So here we are with our graphic, which I want to bring more towards the center of the screen. There we go. Come over here, graphic. Yeah, just come right this way. Good. Stop. Okay. So when you look at the range for the data, and let's do it back in our gold pen, as Alexander just said, M&Ms, remember your M&Ms. And I selected gold pen. M&M right here. What does that stand for? It stands for the max and the min. Great job, Alexander, right there. The max and the min. So we got the max and the min right there. And the same formula is used for the IQR. It's just Q3 and Q1. So what percent of the data do we go through when we do the range of the data? The range controls what percent of the data. The range is what percent of the data. The range, like if you go all the way across the range of the data, the range is what percent of the data? 100%. 0 to 100, exactly. This is 0 to 100% of the data. Nice job. This pen is possessed. I'm going to like totally reinstall Word one of these weekends. And then the IQR is going to go from the 25th to the 75th. And you can kind of understand right here that this is going to cover 50% of the data versus this covers 100% of the data. If you were to look at this right here, it's going to go across all 100% of the data. I do not understand. So that's going to cover 100% of the data, and the IQR only covers the middle 50% of the data. So the IQR right here is the middle 50% of the data. When you think about how many quarters there are in the data, there are 4 quarters. This is the lower quarter. This is the lower quarter. The 25th to 50th percentile. These are the 2 middle quarters. You are just messing with me now, pen, aren't you? You watch this tape. This pen is possessed. I do not lie. And be very careful that maximum is included. So this display right here hopefully helps us better understand. These all are the same amount of data. I think people get confused because sometimes, as you can see right here, these are smaller. They're all 25% of the data. You're like, well, how can it be smaller? It's just that the data is more compact. So maybe, let me try to show it visually right here. like when we look at the following, we'll do a data set right here. Let's pull up in a data set and think about how this would look. So we're just gonna open a new data set. Oh, sure. And let's go Control N, new data set. And let's pull up in a data set here and talk about this. So if we're gonna draw this data right here, or something like it, let's just go here and go to age. If you have people who are like 6 years old, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 12, 16, 20. Okay, I just want us to think about these observations. When you think about these observations right here, where's the data most compact? Where is the data most compact? From what to what you would say this data is very compact? From what to what you would say this data is very compact? Where's this data like really going to be like tightly clustered around these data points? Where would this data right here be tightly clustered? From what to what ages do we see like most of the data? Well, what ages? Oh, you're saying from like here, and we can almost figure out the middle 50%. You know, if I do, trying to think how many observations. Let's think right here. If I do 12 observations, so let's put another 9 right here, and then let's put, we'll put a 50 right here. That's crazy now. So now we have 12 observations, so the middle 50% should be, here, let's cut it into 50-50. Is this, that's 50-50. So the middle number's here. So we go 3 numbers up, 3 numbers down. There's the middle 50%. Would everyone agree that this is the middle 50%? This is the bottom 25%. This is the top 25%. And this is the middle 50%. Like here's 50% of the data and it's in the middle. Does that make sense, Alexander, right here? This is the middle 50%. So we can literally tell, and I think I've done this properly, this is where the 75th percentile is going to be. Let's graph the data. Analyze, distribution, and go right here and go to stack. And it says the quartile is 15. I always hate how it calculates these sometimes. So we can make this easier on ourselves if we were to make these the same numbers. But if you look at the box plot, you know, let's make it easier by just looking at a singular box plot. Graph builder, here we go. Here's the box plot. And where's box plot? There we go. Okay. So when you look at this right here, Q1 is going to be 12. Is it? So it's between these numbers. The way it calculates it, that's why I never calculate Q3 by hand. I would never have anyone calculate Q1 or Q3 by hand. It's doing like a mathematical calculation between these numbers. And this one's going to be 7 right here. And then this one, it calculates as 15. It's just where 75% of the data is below. I've never been huge fans of calculating that. And you can see it shows it right here. I wish we could make that smaller, but there's the 5 number summary on the graphic. So when you think about this, I want us to think about how this looks and understand that we said the data, I hate it the way it calculates it. I never do those calculations. I would think that, right, Alexander? It's so weird to me. You know what? I'm going to look that up. How does jump calculate Q3? This has been a big question in the back of my head. Here's jump documentation. It's just talking about what a Q3 is. Solve how to customize quantile settings for distribution. Calculating quantiles for newbies. I never calculate. Some statisticians like, you don't know how to calculate Q3. I'm like, I never calculate. It's just the 75th percentile. It's what it means. In jump, the quantiles are specified. You know what'd be really interesting? Let me do this. I want to see if jump does the same thing as R. We're into the question and answer section now. We're into the Brian wants to find out. So it's going to, so 15 doesn't, I know it doesn't, does it? It totally doesn't make sense. Let's go here to numbers. Let's concatenate this. Do I remember my trick? Nope, that's not it. There we go. It took me a long time to figure out this trick, Alexander. Oh, what's empty? Oh, that's empty. There we go. Let's go to summary of numbers. Wow. What in the world is going on right here? Look at this. I've often said this. There's like, and this is just like seriously what's going on programs. I've always heard there's no universal way to calculate Q3, and this drives me absolutely nuts. But I'm bamboozled too. I'm just like, I'm just gonna play my favorite song. It's because I don't even know what to do. I'm just like, I don't know. No one even knows what Q3 is. What the heck is going on with Q3? Let's listen to my favorite song. That's all we can do. Just deal with it. I need the shades. I should do that. I don't know. Maybe that's like old memes. You got to give me meme ideas. That's all this class is meant for. Yeah, it says Q3 is this. Let's see. What are people saying for how to calculate Q3 by hand? Because I would have said it's 14.5. Is that what we calculated, or 14? Because we were averaging together two numbers. I would have looked at this and said it's between these numbers and said 14. This says 13. Jump says 15. So how to calculate Q3 by hand. Very important things we're talking about right here. Q1 is the median of the lower data set. Yeah, I know that. That's what I did. I cut it into 2 equal parts. Show me a formula. Quartiles. They're not showing a formula. They're just doing what I usually do, which is logical. Do they literally have a 12-number data set? No, they have a 10-number data set. It's easy when you use a 10-number data set. Wait, here we go. Okay. I'm grabbing their formula. But wait, they just cut the data in half. Is that what they're doing? Yeah, it's like no one has a formula for calculating these things. Can I do research on this and be like, no one knows how to calculate the quartiles? There's no like universal method. They're literally finding the median and then cutting the data in half, which is what I do. Every single person does it the way I do it. No one has like a direct formula. And wait, found something. Okay. We got something. We got somewhere. This person writes sample size +1 times, wait. Okay, and then times 3/4. Logical. Okay, so then that's the position of it. So we have 12 observations. So sample size times 12. Well, sample size equals, not function. Okay, sample size not found. Cool. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so it's the 9.75th. So then we're going in between these numbers. So this person right here says, and it's good we have these in like a line. Let me see what chat's saying. I've been trying to figure this out for a while here. So at best, if you cut it, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right here. Does that, yeah, Alexander, does that make sense? And then I found this formula online that someone's using to say where it's at. And I think this is how Jump is doing it. Because if you do it this way right here, you get, so is R doing it wrong? Do I need to talk to like Hadley Wickham and be like, hey, what's R doing right here? So Jump and R do not converse on the same number. And I've always heard people use different formulas to solve for it. And that's why I actually eliminated a question this year on one of the 201 assignments because it was coming out with a different number. But more importantly than finding it, what's more important than, like, although some people may differ on what the answer is to what the Q3 is, what's more important than just like finding this mathematically? What's most important beyond just finding this mathematically right here? I know I'm serious OCD range too. Like, I want to figure these things out. Like, I'm going around looking at formulas. I'm like double checking, looking at it in R. I'm like, okay, I want to know what's going on with this. Because this should return 13. If this doesn't return 13, my head will explode. Please, head, don't explode. If this doesn't return 13. Good. If this didn't return 13, let me see. Library in R, calculate IQR. Let's see if anyone has. Well, I wonder. So the IQR should be 6. Seeing if everything converges. It is 6, of course. I mean, that's what we saw. I was thinking if anyone else has a library in here. How does R calculate IQR? Or how does R calculate quantiles? Well, can we look at the quantiles function? This part of the thing will be called like Brian. It's a base function, so it won't let you look at it, which is a bummer. Names, type. Ooh. Alexander, I just found something. I'm guessing, okay, let me see what Alexander wrote. I'm guessing the importance is just to discover the center. Yeah, it's interpretation, exactly right. But doesn't make sense if you can't find a proper Q1 and Q3, which is really annoying, right? Like if people can't agree on what Q1 and Q3 is, what's the point of interpreting it? Like I'm hearing these questions in my head, like I would ask as a student, I'd be like, so if no one agrees on how to calculate Q1 or Q3, then why are we interpreting something people can't even agree on what the value of it is? And probably because statisticians want to make a name for themselves and have a certain way of calculating and be like, this is the way we calculate it because I say so. Because, we're just trying to, like describe where the 75th percentile is when we can't evenly divide the data into these parts. Just out of Laughs and Gill's channel. Look for an economics formula. Are those pretty? Yeah, exactly. Like probably with economics formulas, people are trying to like make a name for themselves. Nothing wrong with making a name for yourself and figuring out some formulas. Many great economists, many great accountants out there making these really awesome formulas and stuff. But then people are like, this is the way to do it because I came up with it. And you know what? I think I just found something. And I'm going to have to do more research on this because I think we just answered the question. I think we just found it. Yes. 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 Wow. I'm going to have to look at the documentation on this. Beautiful. And now if I go to 10, it should get mad. Please. Oh my gosh, I always hit that button. I just found the answer, Alexander, but it's going to take more reading. Good, and that is what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to produce an error on that. So what I found is in the documentation, which actually I can look at over here too. In the documentation for quantiles, is a deep dive into quantiles. In the documentation for quantiles, it has this argument type. And it says, in integer between 1 and 9, selecting one of the 9 quantile algorithms detailed below to use. Wow, so here it is. So they literally go into the quantile algorithms right here. Inverse of empirical distribution, awesome. Similar to type 1, but with averaging at discontinuities. Nearest even order statistic. So SAS default, this is the default for SAS. Type 4, that is linear interpolation. Type 5, this is a piecewise linear function. I do know piecewise linear. Type 6, this is used by Minitab and SPSS. Look at that. It even highlight, look at R. R, you're the best. This is used by S. I don't even know what S is. Type 8 and type 9 right here. So they're showing you every single formula that is used. Well, the good news is, so I think Jump is using, we can figure out which type of way that Jump is calculating it, because I think Jump was one of the unique ones. Jump is saying for this data, show us it again, Jump. Jump is saying that the Q3 is 15. So going off of this information that Q3 is 15 right here, we can go back here, and I think it was number 7, or it was number 8, or it was number 6. Cool. And is that the one? There we go. Look at that. This is used by Minitab and SPSS. And what we could do is I could maybe reach out to R and say, hey, just so you know, this is also used by, so we got right here, I could solve that formula. That's the K is usually number of trials. Gosh, I should go better at mathematics. N plus 1, maybe this is the percentile you're looking for. K, what is the K? Thus P of K equals the, Kayla, where are you at? We need you here, Kayla, for this. We're doing mathematics now. But does this make sense, Alexander? That as there are 9 different ways to solve for this. 9 different ways. And the default for this inside of R is going to be, it should show the default when we look at the function. The default way is going to be type 7. So it chooses type 7 by default. Does it make sense what a default is? So if I don't enter in the type right here, if I don't enter this in, it'll do type 7. So if I did put type 7, it'll do the same value. We'll see 13 appear again because it does type 7 by default. So this is the default for the function. If you do not enter that in, it'll by default give you. What's even cooler is you don't need to enter in the quantile. It'll actually give you a summary of the quantiles by you just putting in the quantiles here. We could change it to the way Jump does it by going to type 6, wasn't it? Type 6? I know, right? I feel like flipping the disk over too. So this is type 6 right here. And now all of these quantiles right here are being calculated the way Jump calculates them. So what I should do is I should talk to my Pearson and I should say, did you know there are 9 ways to calculate Q1 and Q3? I'd always kind of known this in the back of my head. I was alluding to it at the start. I hadn't done a deep dive into it. I've just always been like, yeah, there's multiple ways to calculate these numbers because different people have different theories on how to calculate the, where the 75th percentile is. And a lot of websites just don't go into this level of detail. Like this level of detail right here is well beyond your intro statistics level of details and goes into upper level mathematics. So Alexander, I'm glad you're here for this deep dive into it because I like learning about these things, trying to figure out and having better answers because I don't like answers that are just like, well, it's the way it is. I saw a commercial. It made me mad. This is Brian's. And let's go here. Let's have story time with Brian. You ready? Let's go to story time. We need some music right here. So this commercial, it's rant time, Jacob. You got it. This commercial said that, to me, the worst argument anyone can make is because I said so, or because or they can just say that's the way it is or something. They say because. Oh God, that's such a bad argument. They might be right. You could be right about something. I could say someone could say Brian, why does the quantiles function return the wrong number? And I'll be like, well, that's just the way it is. I mean, it's true. It is the way it is. But I like when someone asks why, that's like the best question in the world to be like, why is it this way? And to kind of brush away the question and be like, because, or because it says so, or yeah, that's just, you have to do it this way. I like it when people question what I say. I like it when people say, is that right? Are you sure about that? I mean, in a respectful way, not like, Brian, you're wrong. I mean, if you wanted to, if I was doing something wrong and people were like, hey, Brian, you're wrong, I'd actually appreciate that. But, be respectful at least. But yeah, in this commercial, it was like this person can win an argument with 4 words. And they're like, because I said so. And it's like, it's not a good way to win an argument. Give me reason, give me logic. That's what I thrive off of. I think not liking the answer because is an educator thing. Yeah, exactly. That's probably it, Jacob. You're right. It's because I'm an educator, so I value what we do. I value I need to know the reason. It's kind of dismissive, so it's good to question things that aren't definite. I agree. Yeah, question me. I want everyone to know that. We'll end with that probably here because we're right at the end. But if I can give you one bit of advice, it's at least to question Brian. At least question me and be like, is that right, Brian? Why is it this way? Why that? Why everything? So, as we end, keep staying inquisitive. But as we say, bye for now, everyone. Bye!